couple of songs, right? Folsom Son of a Gun and Eve to Adam. That was called Altitude. So I got Fraser Green from the Bullet Hole Concept on the line. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Right on. So yeah, we got kind of hooked up together with from Brandon from what's the name of his record thing?
Well, he's from Bigwood Records, and then he has
Yeah,
his own band, Toast.
yeah. So tell everybody about the band and what you do and where you're at and the whole thing.
Yeah, man. So it started as a three-piece project with two of my friends, and then that fell apart. I write and record and play all the instruments. I play drums, guitar, bass, and I sing, so I kind of do it all myself. I had these songs sitting around. I went through a really hard time about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And these all kind of just fell in my lap. I got lucky and went into the studio with a buddy of mine and did a full 6 song acoustic EP where I just recorded everything myself with my buddy as producer. And did that, and then since then been playing a lot in the Snohomish County area. I had a show in Seattle, and that's where I met Brandon and the guys in Toast and all them. And then they hooked me up with you guys, and they actually hooked me up with a show this last weekend up here in the North area. So yeah, been doing that and riding on that for the past year and a half. The album's called Open Wounds. It came out back in July.
Right on. We'll be checking out the we'll be playing the whole album, so that'll be cool. Um, so hell, what's what made you pick up an instrument in the first place?
Mostly my dad. I started playing drums when I was 3 years old. He would literally sit me on his drum kit and I would play. And then I grew up in a musical family. We had pianos in the house and drum kits and stuff all the time. And then when I was about 18 years old, I picked up the guitar because I ran out of room for a drum kit and I couldn't have one. And I've never set down a guitar since. And yeah, it came out of me playing guitar kind of came out of this need because I was bored out of my mind at my friend's house for a week and I had nothing to do and there was a guitar and a computer, so I just started teaching myself how to play.
Nice, nice. So hell, you want to? What should we do? Do you want to take? Let's take out one of your songs. Let's see. We got the first one we're going to be checking out. It says it's called Bullets and Ball Gags.
Yeah, yeah.
Got anything you want to talk about that one before I hit the play button?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean this. So I'm gonna warn everyone. I mean, if you got kids around, plug your ears because this is the one explicit song on the album. If you couldn't tell by the song title, like I said earlier, this song was written out of about a year and a half period of my life, and almost all the songs on it were written about or around one person that really decided to screw me over and really just was a terrible human being for me to be around, and I didn't care and got screwed in the end anyway. And this song is about her. And basically, this is just me being as childish and angry and pissed off at as possible. I needed a way to say "fuck you" without, and not being able to say it to their face. So, we actually, when we went into the studio, my producer heard the lyrics, said he loved the song, ran into the kitchen, grabbed 3 beers, opened them, and told me to chug them all at once so that when I sang it, my voice would be raspy, and that way I would be singing it with full emotion and be as pissed off as possible when I sang it. So that's what happened.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's do it. Let's check it out. This is it. This is Bullets and Ball Gags, and yeah, here we go.
You have no idea.
But you prove me wrong like every time before. And I'm so done playing your fucking fool. You're becoming what you once despised. Twinkle, twinkle, little slut. Name one guy you haven't fucked. Were they skinny? Were they tall? Girl, we know you fucked them all. Twinkle, twinkle, little whore. Go show yourself to the door. Why is it you can't go home and leave us all the hell alone? Yeah, yeah. And I'm so done playing this stupid game. And I'm so done playing this stupid game. Where you make me feel like I'm the one to blame. Where you make me feel like I'm the one to blame. And I'm done swallowing all the lies. And I'm done swallowing all the lies. I've watched you become what you despise. Twinkle, twinkle, little slut. Name one guy you haven't fucked. Were they skinny? Were they tall? Girl, we know you fucked them all. Twinkle, twinkle, little whore. Go show yourself to the door. Why is it you can't go home and leave us all the hell alone? Leave us all the hell alone. And leave us all the hell alone. You become all that you once despised. Twinkle, twinkle, little slut. Name one guy you haven't fucked. Were they skinny? Were they tall? Girl, we know you fucked them all. Twinkle, twinkle, little whore. Go show yourself to the door. Why is it you can't go home and leave us all the hell alone? Twinkle, twinkle, little girl. Don't show your face, it makes me hurl. Twinkle, twinkle, little bitch. I hope they find you in a ditch. Just leave us all the hell alone. Leave us all the hell alone. Why can't you leave me alone? I'm fucking done.
Right on. That's a pretty cool song.
Thank you. Yeah, normally people get a kick out of that at the live shows. I don't know why. I'm not sure if a lot of people have been screwed over or something, but everybody gravitates towards that live.
Right. Yeah. That's for sure. Cool stuff.
Thank you.
So we were kind of so you say you're out of like the Snohomish area, so you're not that far away from me.
No. Yeah, I've lived in Snohomish my whole life.
Yeah. So where do you guys? You say you play out a lot, right?
Yeah.
Where do you just play like where do you play the most? Where have you played that you dig the most?
mean, I've played Dreadnought Brewery out in Monroe. I've played there a couple times. I've played the Mirkwood up in Arlington about 4 or 5 times. I played Columbia City Theater in Seattle here last month. I played Looking Glass Coffee in Snohomish. I've played a couple bars in Snohomish, Uptown Wine and Beer. I don't have a full band behind me, so I'm kind of the sole acoustic, guy of the group, and I just kind of go around and do my thing on my own right now.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
What you got more? I mean, obviously you've got material. You got more. You got. What's the plans? What are your plans?
Well, the plan is to hopefully, the next step is to get into the studio, release a full length album with, full electric guitars, not just an acoustic. We chose to do the acoustic out of necessity. I didn't have enough time or money to get the full amps and rigs and mics and set them up and get them all done. So we decided to do a little bit of a quicker job with an EP. It's our first one ever putting it out. So we decided, you know what, let's just go with the acoustic setup, no drums, make it easy on ourselves, put something out that people can hear and get a taste for what we're doing, and then worry about doing the full setup later. So then, the next step really is to basically just save up money, get my producer, Jordan Farnham's his name, back in the room. I have a buddy of mine I'm going to hire out to do drums just because he's a professional drummer, and do a full album. That way it's, take these 6 songs and put them in the electric form and build them up from there. All these songs were written on electric guitar and have full loud electric versions, and that's how they started. But due to the fact that we needed to convert them for live shows by myself and convert them into the studio, I kind of toned them down, made them sound a little prettier, more fit for acoustic, and then we'll redo them in the full electric, fast-paced, loud version here, and I'm hoping to do that within the next year or so.
Right on. Let's see. What else is going on? We should probably let's play another song. What do we got going on? What's the next one? It is Drowning in Myself. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, so this is actually the heaviest song on the album, and this is a song that I wrote. Like I said, all these were written on electric, and this is the first one that I decided I wasn't going to do anything to make it sound pretty. There's actually a breakdown in the middle of the song, like a metal breakdown. It's just all on acoustic. So we didn't change anything with this. This is full volume on acoustic guitar, but the format's the same. So when you hear it in electric, the only difference is that it'll be, put through an amp and whatever.
Nice.
And this was birthed out of, we had all these songs sitting there, and I was like, we need one heavy fast-paced song to show people what we could do, and so that people can kind of hear that we're not just a soft side of the band. And believe it or not, it's harder to write a heavy song than it is a quiet song, because heavy songs, if you're just sitting there by yourself with a guitar, they kind of all sound the same until you put drums and stuff behind them. So this one we wrote, I put it together, and we're like, okay, this will be the heavy song on the record. And actually, when we went to go record it, we weren't going to put this on the album, but I couldn't get the guitar line out of my head and how catchy it was and how much I loved it. So me and the producer went, all right, screw it. Let's go in and let's record it. And we were tired and we were pissed off and we were grumpy. And we went back and listened to all the demos before we finalized them and mastered them. And I realized I was so tired and pissed off that the vocals were completely terrible. So I actually had to go back a week later and completely redo all the vocals so that they didn't sound like absolute garbage. And that's how this song was born.
Nice. Well, let's do it. This is Drowning in Myself. Let's crank it up. Here we go.
Haven't been myself in a long time. Pictures flashing in and out of my mind, but there's no way out. You said I wasn't worth saving, that the monster lives inside my brain, and there's no way out. And now I'm drowning in myself, and I'm trying to get help, but I just don't know where I'm supposed to go, and I'm trapped inside this hell. Please just let me sleep, or forever leave me be, 'cause I can't see through, don't know what I'll do if I'm left alone, if I'm left alone to bleed. Christmas was all over and I was running towards nowhere. Now there's no way, yeah. 'Cause I'm drowning in myself and I'm trying to get help, but I just don't know where I'm supposed to go and I'm trapped inside this hell. Please just let me sleep or forever leave me be. 'Cause I can't see through, don't know what I'll do if I'm left alone, left alone, left alone to bleed. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I'm drowning in myself. Now I'm drowning in myself. I'm drowning in myself and I'm trying to get help, but I just don't know where I'm supposed to go and I'm trapped inside this hell. Please just let me sleep or forever leave me be. 'Cause I can't see through, don't know what I'll do if I'm left alone, if I'm left alone to bleed. Now I'm drowning in myself and I just don't know where I'm supposed to go and I'm trapped inside this hell. Please just let me sleep or forever leave me be. 'Cause I can't see through, don't know what I'll do if I'm left alone, if I'm left alone to bleed.
Right on. We're back. That was what was that one? That was Drowning in Myself. So
Yes.
what's up, dude?
I mean, not much. Life's been going great, man. I just got done playing. I've been playing shows every weekend since the beginning of December, or sorry, the middle of December, and then I got the flu somewhere, and like we took a Christmas break, and I had the flu right on Christmas break, and came back right into the new year and started playing shows. I just got done with a whole string of shows up and mostly in the Snohomish County area, and then. Yeah, I played with Toast the other night and all them up here in Mount Vernon area at Cat's West Side Stories. And yeah, no, life's been going good. Been able to focus on the music and take some time to relax and start putting together what I need to for the full album.
Right on. Right on. What do you think about the
Yeah.
what do you think about the music scene? You know?
I mean, so far I haven't. My big thing is because I know I have a different perspective probably than most because I'm a solo guy, just doing acoustic shows until I can find a full band. But dude, I haven't met anybody yet that's been a bad human being or trying to rip me off or anything. Everybody's been totally supportive of each other and really cool and out of their way to talk to me and hang out. And I'm an introvert, so I feel bad for them because I do this thing, and I know some people get the wrong impression, but I get on stage, I play my set, I get off, I pack my shit, and I leave. And it's not like I'm trying to, just ditch everybody, but it's just how I am and how I work. I'm like, okay, I'm here to do a job. I'm here to play my music that I'm passionate about, give it all for 20 minutes, get off stage, get out of the way, and let the other bands do their thing. And so it's been really cool to see people like Brandon and the guys in Toast and Bigwood Records and like venues like the Mirkwood reaching out and being really cool to include me or ask me to come play with them or chill and stuff like that. I mean, we started up just for kicks and giggles. Me and my friends started up a podcast just to give it a shot and see what we did. It's not music related or anything, but it's been nice. Been taking some time off and working on music and noticing how cool everybody is lately.
Yeah, it's cool. And with Seattle, a lot of the venues is kind of going away. It's kind of like it's kind of like there's two music scenes. You got everything north of Seattle and everything south of Seattle.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I see like everything, and because I live in Snohomish County, so it's kind of, I live in Snohomish in general, but it seems like there's a lot of the music scene from like Bellingham to just hitting Snohomish or Marysville, and all of them are really cool. And then like when I had my show in Seattle, the rest of those bands were from south of Seattle. So it's like Seattle's just the meeting point.
Right.
And I haven't been able to meet up with a lot of the southern, the South Sound bands, but the North Sound bands are nothing but amazing, cool human beings. But yeah, I totally agree with you. It seems like there's a split, and Seattle's just kind of the meeting spot where
Right.
everybody gets to.
Yeah. But it's definitely cool. It's cooler than it was when I started doing this show. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It
I
was
mean, I wish we
really,
could keep.
really super
good.
clicky. It was like it didn't matter that you were playing their music or even
Yeah.
wanted to play their music. They didn't know who you were, and
Huh.
they were going to do it.
Yeah, no,
It- it's
I've been fortunate enough. I haven't run into any of that yet, but everybody's been really cool. But
nice.
I'm sure it'll happen at some point. I think I've just been lucky so far.
Nah, there's some definitely really cool bands and some awesome venues too. Once you get out there and check them out.
Oh yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of artist-friendly venues out there. Like I said, the Mirkwood, I've played there. Cat's West Side Stories. They're always trying to get a hold of people and book people, just even people that have never played before, just to get you to come in and say hi and see if people like you.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, hell, let's see what's up next on. It's Dying on My Own. What's that one all about?
Dying on My Own.
Yeah.
I think that's the one we just did, isn't it?
No, we Drowning in Myself.
Oh,
is the last one.
yep. I'm all backed up.
That's all right.
yeah, So Dying on My Own was actually, if I were to, it's kind of the, yeah, actually, you know what? It's even heavier than Drowning in Myself. If I were to put everything into like chronological order, Drowning in Myself was the first song I wrote, and it was kind of, for chronologically, it kind of kicked off all the events of the album and was the beginning of it. Dying on My Own was kind of the getting towards the end and realizing that like there wasn't a whole lot that I could do unless I pulled my head out of my ass, basically. This is where I really pushed my vocals and all that fun stuff. And, it was, Dying on My Own was the one that was really hard to put together, just because it was heavy and fast and I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. And I finally decided to sit behind a mic and see how far I could push my vocal cords. And pushed them as hard as I could and wrecked them a little bit while recording, actually.
Oh.
So no screaming or anything like that, but, just after days and weeks and all that of singing, your vocal cords are just like any other muscle. They get tired and start getting,
Right.
thrown out of whack.
Absolutely. Well, let's check it out. This is Dying on My Own.
I've got this sinking feeling that I'm not quite through with bleeding, and every time I try to make this right, I know I'll end up making mistakes. I found a way to be human, dying on my own. Still don't know what I am doing, trying not to know. And all this has to lead somewhere that I need. 'Cause all this has to lead somewhere that there's peace. I push, pull, back and forth, knowing I can't get back to normal. And every time I try to make this right, I know I'll end up making mistakes.
Right on. We're back.
Yeah, hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Nice. Cool stuff, man.
Thank you.
So that was Dying on My Own. Very cool stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right on. So, what else is going on? What else you want to talk
Well,
about?
I mean,
What's up with
I,
this? You said you have there's a story, a reasoning, and all that behind your album, right?
yeah. So there's going to be a little bit of a segment, so buckle in, kids, and none of it's good. So, it all kind of started with, and I'll kind of get where the songs match up with certain places, but Drowning in Myself was about a day that me, and this kind of kicked off all the events, but me and my ex-girlfriend were sitting in my car, and it was the day we broke up, and at one point, she got so pissed off at me for breaking up with her that she smacked me across the face and said, "You seriously need to get help or therapy because you have some issues." And that was her being just mad and over exaggerating and stuff. And that's kind of where Drowning in Myself was about, was the realization that although, everybody's got issues and everybody's got problems, but mine were stopping me from being happy. And I was kind of depressed and dwelling on past stuff and not able to let it go. So over the course of the next 3, 4, 5 months, I kind of went, I don't want to say crazy, but I basically went out and partied and kind of just let loose on life and went nuts, and wound up meeting this person that we met because she had a tragic happening in her life. I offered to help. We were kind of talking. Turns out she was a licensed therapist. So we started kind of doing these quasi therapy sessions, basically, as friends. I wasn't paying for anything. It was just kind of pro bono because we were really close friends and we were both, hanging out all the time and shooting pool and hanging out at the bar or whatever. And over the course of a month, we did these. I started getting better. My brain started clicking where it should. Started to get out of the depression. And then one Friday night, I show up to the bar where I'm hanging out, and she comes in and is blackout drunk. And by the time we close, she took everything that I had ever told her while she's blackout drunk and threw it back in my face. And took everything I'd ever told her, either made fun of me for it or used it against me or something like that. And it completely just turned me on my ass, and I didn't know what to do. And I was probably out of it for 3 days and just sitting in my bedroom trying to recover from the shock, basically.
Yeah.
That the person that I had trusted the most with things I'd never told anybody had just broken all that trust. So then we still hung out for about a year. I tried to let it go. I couldn't. I was still very angry and pissed off. And whenever they started, having a drink or whatever, I would become the victim of this kind of, I don't want to say abuse, but it was almost like, whenever they would get drunk, the attention of their anger was on me. And I had to either leave or fight it off or whatever. And they continued to get, drink and drink and drink. So I said, you know what? I'm out. I'm done with you. I cannot believe who you're becoming. And the last night I ever talked to her, she called me, asked me to pick her up. I picked her up, and she was shit-faced drunk. So I dropped her off at her place and left. And then, so then this is kind of in the aftermath of all that and trying to put my head together. I didn't know how to say anything to this person. I still don't. And basically I started writing songs instead of writing letters or telling them to her face, because I didn't even know how to deal with my own emotions. And so, I still write songs all the time. Like I said, I'm working on a new album that's a full album, not just an acoustic album. And there's still a lot of bullshit there. And we live in the same town, so we run into each other every once in a while. And every time I do, I have a hard time not punching them in the face. But yeah, so the whole album was based off this really hard time of coming off of this broken trust, and at the same time coming off of, you know, becoming single, then finding this person that I figured would finally be able to help me get back my sanity and what I needed, and then that completely being broken and destroyed, and then trying to deal with the aftermath of them not wanting to change for, you know, for anybody, and possibly hurting more people. So, and the finally me having to walk away and say, look, I'm done. I'm not going to be around this anymore. So, and that's kind of where the album came out of, is the reflection on all of that. Bullets and Ball Gags is the angry song of kind of telling them, you know what, fuck you, and for what you did, and what, you know, everything I never got to say to their face. Dying on my own was my own self-reflection of realizing that I needed to do something about it and get my bullshit together. And then as we get through the rest of the songs, I'll kind of elaborate on how they impact the story and what they were about there.
Right on. What do we got coming up next? Looks like Snowfall.
Okay, so Snowfall, I'm going to warn everybody, is the pretty song on the album. This is actually a fun story of how it was written. This is the only song that was co-written with another human being, and that was my old drummer, actually, and for a different band I was in. And he sat down one day with a guitar and put his hands on this chord that you can't imagine it, but it stretches over 6 frets. It literally, my hand has to stretch over 6 different frets, and it's incredibly hard to play. And he goes, I want to write a song around this one chord. And I go, you're out of your fucking mind. There's no way in hell I'm going to play that all day long. And he really, really did beg me to play it. And so basically what we did is I took the chord, I said, okay, what's next? And I would just sit there with the guitar and play chords and match them up, and he would choose what order they went in. And then we had verses and choruses, and then I had it done. And then after that, he moved to Michigan. So I took the song, I still had it saved in my computer, and I had the electric version, and I still loved it so much because it was a really cool melodic sound to it, and it still had a punch to it when you played it on the electric. So I messaged him and said if he wouldn't mind if I used it, and he said go for it. So I took it off my shelf and wrote the lyrics around it, and the lyrics are around basically the loss of the person I just got done talking about. And although there's that you screwed me over and you hurt me, there were also still good times with that person and who she was, and we still had a great time together. But so you still lose that friendship. So this was kind of the reflecting on the fact that I had lost a friend, not to death, but because of their own choices. And it was kind of the sad ballad on the album. It is the sad ballad on the album of realizing that even though it's the best decision, this still sucks. So yeah, this was the first song ever written, only because it was written 3 years before the album was ever put together. But yeah, we took it off the shelf, and this song was written in part by a drummer who apparently hates guitarists and their hands.
All right, so well, here we go. This is Snowfall. Crank it up.
Times we shared in pain, and I'm looking back to then. You called me your closest friend, but I can't go back again. All the nights I spent with you saved me from inside that room. Sights and smells that no one knew.
Right on. We're back again. That was Snowfall. An awesome tune.
Yeah, man. The soft song on the album. So hopefully y'all didn't fall asleep.
Cool stuff, though.
Thank you.
Let's see. What else? What else do you want to talk about, dude?
I mean, I don't know. I was running out of ideas there for a minute. No, no, I mean, just I mean, the music scene's been great lately. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but just the amount of people that have been really cool and reaching out to younger artists and also, all newer artists and stuff like that. That's been badass for the up and comers lately.
Yeah, right on. That's kind of why I had
Yeah.
this show, so that the bands have a place to be heard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I mean,
when I kind of started, though, it was a little harder. There wasn't like 50,000 different people doing the same thing.
Right. Right. No, I mean, that's even the nice thing now is, I mean, you go to these shows and like when I played down in Seattle, I think there was 6 bands on the list and nobody was playing the same kind of music. I mean, it was all rock, but it was all totally different styles, or like one group had a saxophone player in their group. And so when you go out to these little local shows, you definitely get a good variety and a taste of what's going on. And you get a little bit of everything from everywhere, which is nice. So yeah, if anybody out there listening is planning on going to maybe like a little local show or something like that, do it and just see if anything there, might pique your fancy, if it's any, or if it's any good even.
Yeah, that's for sure. Some of them just, I don't know. There's some really good bands, and then there's some that I don't know. I don't know how they.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why they keep going.
Sure, we had at the Seattle show, I can't remember their name, but there was this opening group that played, and they were terrible. And I mean, just bad. I mean, and I had 15, 20 of my friends there at the show hanging out, and we're all just kind of looking at each other like, why are these people playing music?
Yeah.
And then the best part is we got done. I go up in the green room, and apparently the drummer, it was 2 girls and a guy, and the drummer's ex-boyfriend was the bassist, and his new girlfriend was the guitar player, and the drummer was hammered, and the other 2 were dating or making out or something, and she was just up in the green room bawling her eyes out because the ex-boyfriend and the new boyfriend she was in a band with. And I was like, what? Why would you do this to yourself? This is insane.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't. And they came out, I don't know what the hell they were trying to do, but they were wearing these funky outfits and stuff, and I was like, this is like watching a train wreck. I felt so bad. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I remember like way back in like the high school days, we were trying out to do some kind of musical presentation. So we had to try out, right? And
Right.
And everybody's all nervous, and it's like just play it like we're in practice, act like there's nobody here.
Right.
And everybody is supposed to like come in at different times, right?
Right.
And none of that worked out at all.
it all just sounded like one big movement.
Yeah. And we're trying to like cover like, I don't know, like Led Zeppelin or something like that, and you could hear freaking snickering and stuff. It was like I like just turned my shit off and walked away.
Yeah, I mean I've noticed my thing, like there's some vocals, like especially like I said, I had the flu back about a month ago, and I played these string of shows, and some of them were 2-hour shows. So your voice isn't built to sing for that long, and even with like a 10-20 minute break in between the 2 hours, you're still singing for an hour and 45 minutes. So your voice can't handle that. So I mean, there have been a couple shows where I'm like, I'll push for a high note, and my voice will crack really bad. And there's only one thing that I do is I just keep playing, and I start kind of laughing, and I laugh for a good like 2 seconds, and then I'm right back in it. So you just got to laugh that stuff off. And Anybody out there listening right now that's an aspiring musician or in a band and you guys don't think you'll make it, give it a shot, because that's how I did it. I actually had a buddy of mine, his name is Levi Manis. He's a local comedian. I was outside El Corazon with him one day, and we were going in to go see Puddle of Mudd, I think. And he looks at me, and I go, dude, yeah, I want to pick up a show or something. And he goes, well, how many open mics do you play? And I said, I might play one a week at a place that I know and I play every week. He goes, well, if you want to get your name out there, start playing as many open mics as you can. So I started playing maybe 4 or 5 open mics a week, and just my guitar lived in my car. Like I didn't go anywhere without my guitar, and that's how I got noticed for the Seattle show. That's how I met the Toast guys. That's how I got played at the Mirkwood. When Columbia City Theater messaged me, they said, hey, we would like to book you for this show. And I said, I don't mean to be rude, but I've never even heard of you people. Where, how have you heard of me? What's going on? And they said, well, our friend Steve heard of you, sent us your band name. So I looked up his name, and they gave me his last name, but I looked up his Facebook and everything. Never seen this dude in my life, never talked to him, never heard of him. And he just started passing my name around because apparently he was impressed. So if you're out there wondering if you can make it, start going, playing open mics, play as many shows as you can, and then you get hooked up with, whatever venue will take you, and then you start meeting these other musicians that give you spots on their, their opening list or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I went up to do a show up at the Mirkwood just to do a broadcast, and I don't know, something happened with the booking, and ended up being an open mic night, and it was freaking incredible. There was some really awesome music.
Yeah, open mic nights, as dumb as they sound and as bad as some of them are, I've played some shitty open mic nights where I literally show up and the entire act list is mostly teenagers that can't hold a tune to save their life, or a 40-year-old comedian that thinks he's funny but can't tell a joke.
Right.
And I played, and that's how I got my show at one of the coffee houses I play at. I went to this open mic. You only get to play 2 songs. Anybody can do it, and some of it's even like bad karaoke. And they heard me, and they're like, hey, we'd like to offer you a spot because you're actually a serious musician and you play serious, you take your craft seriously. So, and especially places like the Mirkwood, that place is awesome to new artists. Those guys treat you really well.
It's a cool place.
It is. I enjoy it.
Yeah. The first time we were up there was like a year ago, and we went upstairs to. You've been upstairs and checked out the footprint on the ceiling?
I haven't actually been up there, but I wave to him every once in a while. The tattoo shop up there.
Yeah, there's a room upstairs. It's like an artist workroom. You go up these stairs and you go down this hallway, and there's this. It looks like a bare footprint on the ceiling.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And,
I'll have to check it out next time I'm up there.
Yeah, and so the sound guy Dave was telling us about this, that there's a couple of ghosts at the Mirkwood, and just as he said,
that's what I heard.
Just as he said that, the lights in the hallway turned off on us.
No way.
Yeah.
No, I'd be out so quick.
So we go downstairs, and it was like Brandon's birthday show. So I'm down there, and I'm like, wow, that was pretty trippy.
Yeah.
Then like 2 or 3 shows later, I'm standing over by the loading door, that's over on the side. I'm standing over there, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and I look behind me, and there's nobody there. And I'm like, I'm just drunk,
Right.
And then there's a tap on my shoulder again, and there's nothing behind me.
No way.
And so I just go. I just walked over where my broadcast stuff was, and I was telling the dude that gave me a ride up there. I was being tapped on the shoulder by nobody.
Right. No, I'd be out of that place so quick. I mean, I haven't had any stuff happen up there while I'm there, but if I say the word ghost and the lights turn off, I'm leaving.
It was, but it's been really cool. I mean, it's not like, I don't know, I don't know. It was cool though.
Yeah, yeah. No, they've been a cool place to land, and they're really cool to new artists and all that. And they, and they're the one of the guys there, Jacob. He treats you really well and takes care of you and makes sure all your sound's set up properly and makes sure you're all hooked in. So, yeah, they've treated me really well since I've been there.
Nice. Well, hell, let's see what's next on the on your list. If it's it's called "Was It Hard."
This song. This is actually the only song on the album that was written on acoustic. And again, I apologize to anybody. Break out your tissues now because this is a terrible, heartbreaking story. This song came out of I was actually down in Seattle for my birthday 3 years ago. Well, we're coming up on 3 years now. And I went down there for a show. It's 2 days after my birthday. And my buddy, I stayed down there with a friend of mine. And I woke up in the morning. My friend texted me and said, "Hey, what are you up to?" And I, just the normal BS talk. I said, "So what are you doing today?" And he goes, "Well, I'm over in Fremont at a beer tasting." And I said, "Dude, I'm 10 minutes away. I'll be right over." So I swung over. We're hanging out at this bar. And about maybe 20 minutes into hanging out, my dad sends me a text and goes, "Hey, did you hear about what happened to your cousin?" And this is my cousin I'm closest in age to. He was born literally 6 weeks before me to the day. And I go, "No, what happened? Did he get a new job, new car? What's going on?" And my dad texted me back and said, "No, they found him dead this morning. He had overdosed on pills and, suicide, the whole 9 yards." One of the girls I used to date used to be addicted to drugs and stuff like that, and that's one of the reasons I left her, because I don't hang around that. So this song was kind of an encompassing song around the death of my cousin on my birthday and his suicide, and then kind of a message out to anybody, whether or not you're going through something, depression or something like that, or you're dealing with drug addiction or anything. This is kind of the song that comes from somebody. And the question is, was it hard? Was it hard shooting up that last time? Was it hard putting that rope around your neck? Was it hard to do all these things? And was it hard to leave us here? Because this, it was the question, all the questions I wanted to ask, like, hey, and then my little brother, who was 14, had died probably 3-4 months before I wrote this song. And it kind of also goes out to him. He just died of pneumonia, and so it was kind of the questions of what, was it hard to leave us all behind when we still want you here, and was it hard to choose drugs when we still want you clean and healthy and to hang out with us? So like I said, it's the only song I wrote on acoustic for the whole album. The rest of it was written on electric and then converted later. But I sat down, I picked up my acoustic guitar, and I kind of played this weird quasi chord, and I kind of went, "Oh, that sounds like I listened to Stained a lot, the band from the 90s and early 2000s.
Right.
So I picked it up and I kind of played this chord and I went, "Oh, that kind of sounds moody and like a Stained tune." And then I kind of just played around with chords. And then I wrote the lyrics in a day or two, because it was just, like I said, it was just all the questions I wanted to ask my cousin and my ex and my brother and stuff like that when they had moved on.
All right. Well, hell, here we go. This is Was It Hard? Crank it up.
same, that you took your last shot in this game. So was it hard remembering all that you loved and thinking it wasn't enough, that the light had died out from above, and we scream, how the hell did it all go so wrong? Why was I the one chose to be strong? How the hell did you think this would end when you've turned to the needle again? Was it hard knowing that you disappeared, that you were leaving the rest of us here? All of us knew that you weren't near. So was it hard changing our lives for the worst? If only I'd got to you first, to help you let go of your hurt. And we scream, how the hell did it all go so wrong? Why was I the one chose to be strong? How the hell did you think this would end when you've turned to the bottle again? And we scream, how the hell did it all go so wrong? Why were we the ones chose to be strong? How the hell did you think this would end when you've turned to the needle again? And how did you think I would feel with you gone now? It all feels so real. And how did you think this would end? Well, I cling to your picture again. Again. Was it hard? Was it hard? Was it hard?
Right on. That was it hard? How's it going there, bud?
Good, man.
Right
I
on.
mean, yeah, that song's probably one of the longest, and actually probably one of the. Although it was really sad, it was one of the more fun ones to write because when I wrote it, put it all together, and then I was telling you earlier we were in the studio, and I said, hey, when we got done with all the guitar tracks, he goes, well, there anything else you want to add or anything? And I said, you know what? Go back to the beginning of the song real quick. And he goes, all right. And I said, just hit the record button and let me roll for a minute. So I sat there with the guitar and I played it. And after we went back and listened back to it like a month later to do final editing and mastering and all that, he goes, dude, I hope you memorized or wrote down that opening guitar intro, because it's like a good minute long, because that's going to be a bitch to remember. I said, what? Remember it? I did that all just for fun. And he goes, you did that freehand? I went, yeah. So I was joking around with him. He goes, you cannot be serious that you just wrote that by accident. And I said, no, I just threw it in because I thought it'd sound good and just for fun. And he just about fell out of his chair trying to keep himself from laughing.
Right on.
Yeah, I really my big thing, and as you guys probably notice, I'm not the most virtuistic guitar player out there. I'm not, I'm no Joe Satriani or even a Slash. I don't have the nimble fingers or the quickness on it. My big thing in music is the songwriting process. So I like laying down, chords or finding something I like to listen to and start putting it together, and then writing the lyrics and the melodies for it, and then bring in other people for inspiration on the, all the details and the super fine and finesse stuff, like the guitar solos and stuff. I mean, all the guitar solos and stuff on this album I wrote and put together, but you can tell they're not super complicated. They're not super fast. They're not, they're not like I'm a guitar god. I really enjoy sitting down and playing the guitar and coming up with a melody, or playing, my thing for music is it's my therapy. It's my way to say things that I can't say to other people well. I don't talk well, if any of you could tell yet. I'm not good with words until it gets with a piece of paper and a pen and I'm putting it over top of a melody. So I really like to sit down, find a melody on a guitar that actually invokes emotion in me. And even if I don't know where it's coming from, I get attached to a song, and then after that, I'm like, okay, that's a song that I can't get out of my head. I want to keep playing that song on guitar for a long time, and that's when I start writing lyrics and melodies over top of it, or trying. And the worst part about being a songwriter, any guy will tell you, is the lyrics and the melodies, because I had a new song. It's not on the record. I just got done writing it a little while ago. I'm super proud of it. But I probably spent 4 or 5 months just trying to get the chorus down, because I'm sitting there banging my head against a wall, playing the chords over and over and over for hours on end. And I couldn't find anything I liked that said what I wanted to say, because you only have, 20 seconds to say something in a chorus.
Right.
So yeah, that's where I get my kicks, is putting the big pieces of the puzzle together and then finding something that everybody can relate to or be attached to emotionally.
Right on. Nice. Let's see. What else we have going on here?
On the record?
Yeah. Looks like Weight. What is it?
Weight.
Yeah.
Weight of This Fall. And this is the first song that, when I decided to put the record together, this is the first song that came out of it, and this is the definition of lazy songwriting. My favorite song is a song by Saliva back in the old days called Weight of the World, and I basically took my favorite 4 chords out of that song, which are the chorus chords, and I put them on repeat for like 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, just for a while. And then I started taking my guitars and I would add layers and add layers and add lead parts and add different stuff on top of it. So I took these 4 chords. You'll notice, for those of you that play music, it's the same 4 chords throughout the entire song, front to back. Nothing changes. The only thing that changes is how hard I'm playing them or little notes I'm adding in, but it's all the same bass chords the whole time. And then I just decided to try and add things on top of it and make it my own sound. Used a bunch of different, not effects, but a bunch of different chord shapes and different styles. some parts of the song I'm playing the same chords, but I'm playing them inverted or some other way so that they sound a little different and it makes the song sound fuller. And then when it came to the lyrics and the meaning behind it, this was kind of, again, this was right as I decided to write the album. So this is me completely reflecting on what was going on with me and my now ex-friend that, you know, he decided to be my therapist and then not. And this is kind of the idea of, okay, if I get rid of you and I stop doing, you know, if I stop pursuing this, what's going to happen to me? Because, and it's the kind of this is the generalization of the message of the album, of having this person in your life that you want around, that you think you need around, but you don't. And then kind of having to deal with the idea and the struggle of letting them go, and at the same time not wanting to, and accepting that that's okay. And that's why it's called Weight of This Fall, is the, you know, the last line of the chorus is, I need you to be there when I call, because I'm not sure I can take the weight of the fall. And it's, you know, I'm not sure I can handle this on my own. What am I going to do without you is kind of the main, but like I said, it's the generalization and the summary of the album.
Gotcha. Well, let's get into it. This is Weight of the Fall, right? Weight of the Fall?
Yeah, Weight of This Fall.
Weight of This Fall. Here we go. Crank it up.
We never thought we'd get this far. We only tore apart our hearts. I need you to see that I'm done fighting on my own. I need you to know that I'm done going this alone. And I know there's nothing left to be said, and I can't win this war inside of my head. I need you to be there when I call, 'cause I know that I can't take the weight of this fall. All the time that we spent was in vain. I swear I won't come back again. But I need you to see that I'm done fighting on my own. I need you to know that I'm done going this alone. And I know there's nothing left to be said, and I can't win this war inside of my head. I need you to be there when I call, 'cause I know that I can't take the weight of this fall. I need you to see that I'm done fighting on my own. I need you to know that I'm done going this alone. And I know there's nothing left to be said, that I can't win this war inside of my head. I need you to be there when I call, 'cause I know that I can't take the
are back with Fraser Green of the Bullet Hole Concept. What's up, man?
Not much, dude.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, I just I want to make it very clear because a lot of people get it confused, or people on the on my Facebook page like to give me shit. It's not the butthole concept. For some reason, I'm not sure if people just like to fuck with me or if trolls do, but that's
not
the name
band.
is the.
That's not the band.
No, it's not butthole. I promise. We actually came up with that name again because of the solo project, and again, the person that kind of the album's about, ironically enough, inspired the band name. We were sitting in my car one day doing one of my therapy sessions, and they actually said that term, the bullet hole concept, and it wouldn't leave my brain, basically. And I was starting all over with a whole new, no band behind me. I was doing everything on my own. And I was like, you know what? If this album and this project is going to be about human emotion, and if this first EP is going to be about this person, then why don't I quasi give them credit and name the band after this idea that they came up with and this name that they had. And so I that's how I penned the band name. And it, again, the bullet hole concept was this idea of things in life that are bad kind of end up as like a gunshot wound, and you have to, in order to heal, you have to dig out the bullet, you have to get rid of the pain, sometimes you have to have a doctor, or in this case a therapist, stitch you up and talk you through what's going on in your head. And so that's how I came up with the name. And then I realized later that the album would be about the same person that was helping me at the time and eventually hurt me and screwed me up later. So that it's not butthole, I promise. It's bullet.
So one of the guys in the chat room says you could have gone on tour with the Butthole Surfers.
Nice, yeah. I figured that was going to happen. No, we are not. Unfortunately, I don't have their number or their agent's number.
Oh man. So what else? You got anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to talk
No,
about?
man. I mean, that's it. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to talk to you all and have you guys listen to it. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, my name's Fraser. I'm the only member and sole kind of creator of the bullet hole concept, which is this idea of the human emotion and shit we all have to go through, and struggles in life, and good or bad, whatever. And check out the Facebook or the Instagram, whatever. I also do kind of a fun little podcast called Bar Tools Podcast on the side, just to mess around. It's 5 of us crazy friends trapped in a room with beer. That's all that happens.
Oh, that can't be a bad thing at all.
No, and it started, we would hang out in Snohomish, and it's 5 of, and we're all tradesmen, so it kind of focuses around work and, electrical, it kind of talks about construction work, but we're all friends, and we would sit at the bar, and we would talk about these, and one of our guys goes, what would happen if we recorded this and put it on the internet? So we did that. We just brought all the alcohol to someone's house, and for an hour we sit around and talk about work and bullshit and girls and whatever.
Nice. When's that on?
It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. It's not on any radio station. It's also on Anchor FM. That's where our page is. If you go to the Bullet Hole Concept or my personal page, there's posts from the Bar Tools podcast on there. And yeah, we are the Bar Tools. We're a bunch of tools that sit around and drink and talk shit.
Right on.
But yeah, Spotify, Google, and same with the album. The album's on every digital retailer. I also have physical copies, but iTunes, Google Play, Deezer, Pandora, Amazon Music, Spotify, you name it, it's on there.
Nice.
So yeah, if you come look it up or come contact me, whatever, I'll get you a CD or a shirt, whatever. Or just come to one of the shows. I don't have any shows right now. I just got done playing a bunch. But I'm kind of done. I have another show in March, 2 shows at the end of March. So those will be on the band page as well.
Right on. Well,
yeah, man.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for
taking
thank
out the
you
time.
Very
much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Always a pleasure. And, we can do it again anytime you want, too. So, Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you very much.
Right on. Well, once again, this is the Graveyard Shift. I'm the Cremator, and you just got done checking out Fraser Green and the bullet hole.
Yeah.
The bullet hole concept. Thanks again, dude.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Thanks, man.